Question 52. The driver of the car being passed must until the pass is complete. Answers: A. Move to the left. B. Not increase speed. C. Increase speed. D. Stop. The answer is B. Explanation: the driver of the car being passed must not increase speed until the pass is complete. Persons who present dangers to drivers. Vehicle positioning. California Driver Handbook. Question 53. When stopped behind another vehicle on a hill, you should stay back at least. Answers: A. 1 vehicle length. B. 2 vehicle lengths. C. 4 vehicle lengths. D. 3 vehicle lengths. The answer is A. Explanation: when stopped behind another vehicle on a hill, you should stay back about 1 vehicle length. If you are too close, the vehicle ahead may roll back into your vehicle when it starts. Parking on a hill. Parking. California Driver Handbook. Question 54. What does this sign mean? Answers: A. Do not turn left or go straight. B. Turn left or go straight. C. Merge left. D. Go straight. The answer is B. Explanation: this sign regulates traffic and directs the driver to turn left or go straight. White regulatory signs, traffic signs, traffic controls, California Driver Handbook. Question 55. If a blind pedestrian with a white cane or a guide dog is waiting at a crosswalk, you must. Answers: A. Stop your vehicle within 5 feet of the crosswalk. B. Use your horn to alert them of your presence. C. Reduce your speed and proceed slowly. D. Increase your speed and move quickly. The answer is A. Explanation: blind pedestrians rely on the sound of your vehicle to alert them to your vehicle's presence. Therefore, it is important that you stop your vehicle within 5 feet of the crosswalk. Drivers of hybrid or electric vehicles must remain especially aware that the lack of engine noise may lead a blind pedestrian to believe there are no vehicles nearby. Pedestrians, Laws and Rules of the Road, California Driver Handbook. Question 56. A traffic signal with a flashing yellow arrow means that you should. Answers: A. Stop and be prepared to obey the next signal. B. Proceed at increased speed as directed by the arrow. C. Proceed with caution, but turns are not permitted in the direction of the arrow. D. Proceed with caution. The answer is D. Explanation: a flashing yellow arrow signal means that turns are permitted. However, you must first yield to pedestrians and oncoming traffic and then proceed with caution. Traffic signal lights, traffic controls, California Driver Handbook. Question 57. This guide sign indicates that. Answers: A. A cell phone use area is ahead. B. A gas station is ahead. C. A hospital service is ahead. D. A phone service is ahead. The answer is D. Explanation: this sign is a service sign. This sign indicates a phone service ahead. Traffic signs, traffic controls, California Driver Handbook. All of those questions can be found in app DMV Success. DMV Success. Master your DMV exam in no time. Download now. Question 58. You must use your high beam headlights in all of the following situations, except answers A. In fog, snow, or heavy rain. B. In construction areas. C. Where there may be people on the side of the road. D. On unfamiliar roads. The answer is A. Explanation. Note the except word in the question. Use your high beams whenever there are no oncoming vehicles nearby. High beams allow you to see twice as far as low beams. Be sure to use high beams on unfamiliar roads, in construction areas, or where there may be people on the side of the road. However, use low beams in fog, snow, or heavy rain because light from the high beams reflects off such precipitation and causes glare. Driving in darkness, driving hazards, special driving situations. California Driver Handbook. Question 59. The speed limit for a blind intersection is answers A. 10 miles per hour. B. 15 miles per hour. C. 25 miles per hour. D. 20 miles per hour. The answer is B. Explanation. An intersection is considered blind if there are no stop signs on any corner and you cannot see for 100 feet in either direction during the last 100 feet before crossing. The speed limit for going through a blind intersection is 15 miles per hour. Reduced speeds, speed limits, California Driver Handbook. Question 60. Lanes of traffic going in opposite directions are divided by answers A. Red lines. B. Yellow lines. C. Black lines. D. White lines. The answer is B. Explanation. Lanes of traffic going in opposite directions are divided by yellow lines. Drivers are not allowed to cross those lines. Examples of lane markings, lane control, California Driver Handbook. Question 61. What is the first rule of a safe and legal turn? Answers A. Increase speed. B. Reduce speed. C. Move into the proper lane well before the turn. D. Cut corners while turning. The answer is C. Explanation. The first rule for a safe and legal turn is to move into the proper lane well before the turn. To turn left, move into the far left lane. To turn right, move into the far right lane. Turns, lane control, California Driver Handbook. Question 62. Making a U-turn is illegal. Answers A. At railroad crossings. B. On a divided highway. C. In all of the above locations. D. Near a crest of a hill or in a curve. The answer is C. Explanation. Making U-turns is dangerous and illegal on highways, near a crest of a hill or in curves, and at railroad crossings. Doing so may lead to a collision. Illegal U-turns, turns, California Driver Handbook. Question 63. To enter an expressway or freeway, you must before merging with the traffic. Answers A. Move into the acceleration lane. B. Reduce your speed. C. Move into the right-hand lane. D. Move into the deceleration lane. The answer is A. Explanation. To enter an expressway or freeway, you must move into the acceleration lane before merging with the traffic on the highway. Space to merge, vehicle positioning, California Driver Handbook. Question 64. This posted sign indicates. Answers A. The distance from the curb. B. The distance from the rail tracks. C. The width of your lane. D. A low underpass or bridge. The answer is D. Explanation: vehicles or loads that are taller than the clearance shown can't go through the underpass. Traffic signs, traffic controls, California Driver Handbook. Question 65. Which of the following can be considered a legal parking zone? Answers: A. Within 7.5 feet of a railroad track. B. Within 3 feet of a sidewalk ramp for disabled persons. C. The curb or edge of a public road. D. Within 15 feet of a fire hydrant or the driveway to a fire station. The answer is C. Explanation: the curb or edge of a public roadway may be a legal parking zone. When you park alongside a curb on a level street, the front and back wheels must be within 18 inches of the curb and parallel to it. Park parallel to the street if there is no curb. Never leave your vehicle while the engine is still running. Stop the engine and set the parking brake. When you are ready to exit your vehicle, look carefully for passing vehicles, bicyclists, and motorcyclists. Do not open the driver's side door unless it is safe to do so and you do not interfere with traffic. Do not leave the door open any longer than necessary. Special parking rules, parking, California Driver Handbook. Question 66. Whenever you want to change lanes, you must check for traffic. Answers: A. Neither behind your vehicle nor to the side. B. Both behind your vehicle and to the side. C. To the side. D. Behind your vehicle. The answer is B. Explanation: whenever you want to change lanes, you must check for traffic to the side and behind your vehicle and make sure that there are no vehicles in the lane you want to enter. Signaling, safe driving practices, California Driver Handbook. Question 67. On your side of the road indicates a no passing zone. Answers: A. A solid yellow line. B. A broken yellow line. C. A broken white line. D. None of the above. The answer is A. Explanation: a solid yellow line on your side of the road marks a no passing zone. Line colors, lane control, California Driver Handbook. Question 68. If you double your speed on a highway, your braking distance increases by. Answers: A. 4 times. B. 2 times. C. 5 times. D. 3 times. The answer is A. Explanation: if you double your speed, your braking distance becomes not twice as long but 4 times as far. Maximum speed limits, laws and rules of the road, California Driver Handbook. Question 69. At an intersection, you should yield to another vehicle. Answers: A. If the vehicle reaches the intersection before you. B. In all of the above situations. C. If the driver is on your right and reaches the intersection at the same time as you do. D. If the vehicle is just starting to enter the intersection. The answer is B. Explanation: you should yield in each of the situations described. If you reach an intersection, yield to vehicles that reach the intersection first, that are just starting to enter the intersection, or that are already in the intersection. If you and another vehicle reach the intersection at about the same time, yield if the vehicle is on your right. Right-of-way rules, laws and rules of the road, California Driver Handbook. Question 70. The octagonal shape in the figure is. Answers: A. A yield sign. B. A stop sign. C. A do not enter sign. D. A road construction sign. The answer is B. Explanation: a stop sign is an octagonal, 8-sided, white on red sign that indicates that other traffic has the right of way. You must always bring your vehicle to a complete stop and yield to approaching traffic before proceeding. Traffic signs, traffic controls, California Driver Handbook. Question 71. This sign warns of. Answers: A. A vehicle carrying dangerous cargo. B. A bump. C. A steep hill. D. A heavy truck. The answer is C. Explanation: this sign warns of a steep hill. You may need to slow down at the top or shift into a lower gear. Traffic signs, traffic controls, California Driver Handbook. All of those questions can be found in app DMV Success. DMV Success. Master your DMV exam in no time. Download now. Question 72. If you are driving at a slower speed than other traffic on a highway or freeway, stay in the lane. Answers: A. Farthest from the shoulder of the road. B. Nearest to the center of the road. C. Nearest to the left side of the road. D. Nearest to the right side of the road. The answer is D. Explanation: maintain the same approximate speed as surrounding vehicles when possible, but never exceed the posted speed limits. If you are driving at a slower speed than other traffic, stay in the lane nearest to the right side of the road. Speed limits, California Driver Handbook. Question 73. When a highway is divided into two roadways by a median or barrier. Answers: A. You must not drive across the median or barrier except where there is an approved crossover. B. You can drive across the median or barrier in emergencies. C. You can drive across the median or barrier to make a left turn. D. You must not drive across the median or barrier except to make a U-turn. The answer is A. Explanation: when a highway is divided into two roadways by a median or barrier, you must not drive across the median or barrier except where there is an approved crossover. You cannot cross the painted centerline of any multi-lane highway except to make a turn. Line colors, lane control, California Driver Handbook. Question 74. It is against the law to make a left turn on a red light except when turning. Answers: A. From a one-way street onto another one-way street. B. From a two-way street onto another two-way street. C. From a two-way street onto a one-way street. D. From a one-way street onto a two-way street. The answer is A. Explanation: it is against the law to make a left turn on red except when turning from a one-way street onto another one-way street. When making such a turn, you must come to a complete stop and allow all cross traffic and pedestrians to clear the intersection before you proceed. Left turns, California Driver Handbook. Question 75. What does this sign mean? Answers: A. Traffic is merging ahead. B. Two-way traffic is ahead. C. A divided highway starts ahead. D. A divided highway ends ahead. The answer is D. Explanation: this sign indicates the end of a divided highway. You must watch out for oncoming cars. Traffic signs, traffic controls, California Driver Handbook. Question 76. When driving on gravel or dirt, you must slow down because. Answers: A. Dirt may cover the windshield. B. Your tires get more grip on dirt roads. C. It is unpleasant to drive fast. D. You do not have much traction. The answer is D. Explanation: you do not have as much traction on gravel or dirt roads as you do on concrete or asphalt roads. On gravel or dirt roads, it will take you much longer to stop, and it is much easier to skid when turning. Therefore, you must slow down. Speed limits, California Driver Handbook. Question 77. Rain, snow, and ice impair your ability to see ahead, so you must be able to stop your vehicle safely. Answers: A. Use high beam headlights. B. Increase your following distance. C. Increase your speed. D. Change lanes frequently. The answer is B. Explanation: bad weather calls for slower speeds. You should follow other vehicles at a greater distance. Rain, snow, and ice impair your ability to see ahead and increase the braking distance required to stop your vehicle. In these conditions, increase your following distance and apply your brakes sooner but more gently than usual. Driving in rain or snow, special driving situations, California Driver Handbook. Question 78. While driving in fog, you should use your. Answers: A. High beam headlights. B. Parking lights. C. Low beam headlights. D. Emergency signals. The answer is C. Explanation: it is best not to drive in fog. However, if you must drive in fog, drive slowly and use your low beam headlights. The light from high beams will tend to reflect back and cause glare. Use your headlights. Safe driving practices, California Driver Handbook. Question 79. At 55 miles per hour, in good conditions, your vehicle will travel about feet in the time that it takes you to react to an object in your path and bring your vehicle to a complete stop. Answers: A. 300. B. 100. C. 400. D. 200. The answer is C. Explanation: at 55 miles per hour, in good conditions, your vehicle will travel about 400 feet in the time that it takes you to react to an object in your path and bring your vehicle to a complete stop. A football field, including the two end zones, is 360 feet long. In poor driving conditions, bad weather, bad tires, etc., it may well take even longer to stop your vehicle. How well can you stop? Visual search, California Driver Handbook. Question 80. If you find a speed zone ahead sign, you are approaching. Answers: A. An area where the minimum speed limit is 70 miles per hour. B. An expressway or freeway. C. An area where a lower speed limit has been established. D. An area where the speed limit must not exceed 75 miles per hour. The answer is C. Explanation: this is a regulatory sign. When you see this sign, you are entering an area where a lower speed limit has been established. Speed limits, laws and rules of the road, California Driver Handbook. Question 81. This posted sign is an. Answers: A. Interstate route marker. B. Speed limit sign on hills. C. Speed limit sign on expressways. D. Speed indicator at roundabouts. The answer is C. Explanation: this sign indicates the maximum safe speed permitted in ideal driving conditions on highways. Traffic signs, traffic controls, California Driver Handbook. Question 82. If a car approaches you with its high beam headlights on, you must keep yourself from being temporarily blinded. Answers: A. Look toward the right edge of the road. B. Look toward the left edge of the road. C. Look at the center of the road. D. Look at the driver of the car. The answer is A. Explanation: if a car approaches you with high beams on, do not stare at the lights. Steer by the line at the outside edge of the road to keep yourself from being temporarily blinded. Driving in darkness, driving hazards, special driving situations, California Driver Handbook. Question 83. When should you switch on your high beam headlights? Answers: A. When driving in open country at night or on dark city streets. B. In all of the above situations. C. At night, when it rains. D. All night. The answer is A. Explanation: in open country at night or on dark city streets, use your high beam headlights whenever possible, as long as it is not illegal. However, do not blind oncoming drivers with your high beam headlights. Dim your lights when necessary. Driving in darkness, driving hazards, special driving situations, California Driver Handbook. Question 84. If a driver behind you repeatedly flashes his or her headlights, you should. Answers: A. Switch on your high beam headlights. B. Increase your vehicle's speed and move ahead. C. Get out of the way. D. Switch on your low beam headlights. The answer is C. Explanation: aggressive driving is the operation of a motor vehicle in a way that endangers or is likely to endanger persons or property. If you notice a driver behind you repeatedly flashing headlights, you should not retaliate against or engage the other driver in any way. Get out of the way. Dealing with aggressive drivers and road rage, special driving situations, California Driver Handbook. Question 85. Flag persons are often located on highways and in work zones. Answers: A. To report accidents to the police department and insurance companies. B. To determine the amount of alcohol in a driver's blood. C. To slow vehicles to a lower speed limit posted ahead. D. To stop, slow, or guide traffic safely through construction areas. The answer is D. Explanation: flag persons, flaggers, are often provided on highways and in work zones to stop, slow, or guide traffic safely through the areas. Flag persons wear orange vests, shirts, or jackets and use red flags or stop-slow paddles to direct traffic through the areas. Road workers in work zones, cone zones, sharing the road, California Driver Handbook. Question 86. At an unmarked crosswalk, you must. Answers: A. Signal your intentions and proceed. B. Increase your speed and cross before the pedestrians. C. Stop and ask the pedestrians to cross quickly. D. Yield the right of way to the pedestrians. The answer is D. Explanation. Drivers are required to yield the right of way to pedestrians within any crosswalk, whether marked or unmarked. Pedestrian responsibilities, miscellaneous licensing information, California Driver Handbook. Question 87. And is the connection of a freeway to a road or another freeway by a series of ramps? Answers: A. Entry ramp. B. Exit ramp. C. Interchange. D. Acceleration lane. The answer is C. Explanation. An interchange is the connection of a freeway to a road or another freeway by a series of ramps. The connecting roadways allow you to leave one road and enter another safely without disrupting the flow of traffic. Know what is ahead. Visual search, California Driver Handbook. Question 88. Occurs on wet roads when your front tires start to ride on water instead of on the road. Answers: A. Hydroplaning. B. Weaving. C. Tailgating. D. Velocitizing. The answer is A. Explanation. Hydroplaning occurs on wet roads when your front tires start to ride on the water instead of on the road. As you go faster, the problem becomes worse and you will lose control of your steering. Water on the road, driving hazards, special driving situations, California Driver Handbook. Question 89. A two-headed arrow with one head pointing straight ahead and the other pointing to the left means that. Answers: A. You may only turn left. B. You may either proceed straight ahead or merge left. C. You may either proceed straight ahead or turn left. D. You may only turn right. The answer is C. Explanation. A two-headed arrow with one head pointing straight ahead and the other pointing to the left means that you may either proceed straight ahead or turn left. Traffic signs, traffic controls, California Driver Handbook. Question 90. To avoid tailgating, one should follow the. Answers: A. 2-second rule. B. 4-second rule. C. 3-second rule. D. 6-second rule. The answer is C. Explanation. Most rear-end collisions are caused by tailgating. To avoid tailgating, use the 3-second rule. When the vehicle ahead of you passes a certain fixed point, such as a sign, it should take your vehicle about 3 seconds to reach that same point. To count 3 seconds, count 1001, 1002, 1003. Do not be a tailgater. Know what is ahead. Visual search, California Driver Handbook. Question 91. On interstate highways, slow-moving vehicles must travel except when passing. Answers: A. In the left-hand lane. B. On the shoulder. C. In the right-hand lane. D. In the middle lane. The answer is C. All of those questions can be found in app DMV success. On interstate highways, slow-moving vehicles must travel in the right-hand lane, except Master when your passing. DMV exam traffic in no time. Signs, traffic controls. Download California now. Driver Handbook. All of those questions can be found in app DMV success. DMV success. Master your DMV exam in no time. Download now. Question 92. A yield sign indicates that a driver must slow down and be prepared to if a vehicle or pedestrian with the right-of-way is approaching from another direction. Answers: A. Increase speed. B. Make a turn. C. Stop. D. Make a U-turn. The answer is C. Explanation: a yield sign indicates that you must slow down and be prepared to stop if a vehicle or pedestrian with the right-of-way is approaching from another direction. Traffic signs, traffic controls, California Driver Handbook. Question 93. If you see two solid yellow lines on your way, it means that. Answers: A. Passing is permitted during the day. B. No passing is permitted. C. Passing is permitted at night. D. Passing is permitted at any time. The answer is B. Explanation: when you see a double solid yellow line in the center of the road, it means that no passing is allowed in either lane. Line colors, lane controls, California Driver Handbook. Question 94. This sign warns you about. Answers: A. A slippery road. B. A downhill road. C. A two-way road. D. A winding road. The answer is D. Explanation: this warning sign warns you about a winding road. Traffic signs, traffic controls, California Driver Handbook. Question 95. Special turnout areas marked on a two-lane road. Answers: A. Allow vehicles to make U-turns. B. Allow vehicles to make left turns. C. Allow drivers to stop and talk on their cell phones. D. Allow vehicles to pass. The answer is D. Explanation: special turnout areas are sometimes marked on two-lane roads. Drive into these areas to allow cars behind you to pass. If you are driving slowly on a two-lane highway or road where passing is unsafe and 5 or more vehicles are following you, you must drive into a turnout area to let the vehicles pass. Turnout areas and lanes, lane controls, California Driver Handbook. Question 96. When you come to an intersection and intend to make a move, you should follow the rule before you pull out. Answers: A. Left right. B. Right left right. C. Left right left. D. Left left right. The answer is C. Explanation: when you come to an intersection, follow the left right left rule. Look to the left first because vehicles coming from the left are closer to you. Then look to the right. Take one more look to the left before you pull out. That way, you might see a vehicle that you did not see the first time you looked. Know what is at your side. Visual search, California Driver Handbook. Question 97. A child under 8 years old when all the rear seats are already occupied by children under 7 years old. Answers: A. May ride in the front seat. B. May sit on the lap of an elder child with a seat belt fastened to both. C. Should be kept at home. D. May ride in the front seat without a seat belt. The answer is A. Explanation: a child under 8 years old may ride in the front seat of a vehicle when all the rear seats are already occupied by children who are 7 years old or younger. Child restraint system and safety seats, occupant protection, California Driver Handbook. Question 98. When you see livestock near the roadway, you should. Answers: A. Signal the person in charge of the animals to move right. B. Follow directions from the person in charge of the animals. C. Blow your horn continuously until the animals cross the road. D. Turn safely away from these animals. The answer is B. Explanation: if drivers see animals or livestock, they should slow down and follow directions from the person in charge of the animals. Near animals, laws and rules of the road, California Driver Handbook. Question 99. Things that can distract your attention from the road include. Answers: A. Checking the traffic behind you frequently. B. Text messaging and talking on the phone. C. Always checking mirrors. D. Checking blind spots. The answer is B. Explanation: anything that draws your attention away from the road can distract you. Some examples of distractions while driving are text messaging, talking on the phone, dealing with children, and lighting a cigarette. Distracted driving, occupant protection, California Driver Handbook. Question 100. When two vehicles meet on a steep mountain road where neither can pass, which vehicle has the right of way? Answers: A. The vehicle traveling downhill. B. The vehicle that comes first. C. Both vehicles. D. The vehicle traveling uphill. The answer is D. Explanation: when two vehicles meet on a steep mountain road where neither can pass, the vehicle traveling downhill must yield the right of way by backing up until the vehicle going uphill can pass. The vehicle facing downhill has the greater amount of control when backing. On mountain roads, special driving situations, California Driver Handbook.